Hi, I'm Crystal and I work at Country in the City. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make a peach cobbler, sweet potato pie, and banana pudding. But before I show you how to make these delicious desserts, let me share with you a little history. In 1543, Spanish explorers founded sweet potatoes growing in Indian gardens in what became Louisiana. The root crop starved off hunger for many settlers and slaves. Physicians recommended sweet potatoes for combating childhood nutritional diseases. In Civil War days, when coffee was scarce, it actually was ground, brewed, and dried as a substitute. And now I'm going to show you how to make a sweet potato pie. So what we do is, by this point, you've already boiled your sweet potato. You probably boil it for about 20 minutes with the skin on. And it looks like our sweet potato is ready. Let's see, let's get it out of here. Now, the skin should be loose, and what we need to do is cut it in half, the sweet potato. And because it was boiled, the skin just easily peels off, like so. Get that skin off there. Sure. So, now we take the sweet potato, we put it in the bowl, a large mixing bowl preferably. Cut off those ends. Then we're going to take 2 sticks of butter, and I like unsalted. The unsalted butter, healthier for you. Blend everything together. Okay. And it ends up looking just like a little puree. Just kind of spin off the blender a little bit. It's like a little puree. So now we're going to be adding the other dry ingredients. Be adding sugar. 1.5 cups of that, flour, 3 tablespoons of flour, by the way. You don't want to pour salt directly over your dish, because if you get it in there, it's not going to be pretty. 1/4 teaspoon of salt and Calumet baking powder. We're going to do 3 teaspoons of that. And what I do is I just kind of stick it in there, kind of hit it against the side, and let all the excess fall off, like that. Mix it all up again. Okay, now we need to add our liquid ingredients, our eggs and our evaporated. When I do eggs, I like to clean my egg yolk. There is something white on the egg. I just kind of scoop it off with both eggshells, like so. Just kind of dump it. Help it out a bit. And then, so now we add back into our mixture evaporated milk. That's 1/2 cup of evaporated milk. And 3 eggs. So now we blend it all up again. So at this point, we had our sweet potatoes, our butter, our dry ingredients, and our liquid ingredients. And that's what kind of help makes it a little liquidy for the pie. Now your oven should be preheated to 400, because we're going to pour it into a pie crust and bake it until the center gets firm. So now we're all set. Now we need to make our crust. So we're just gonna scrape the sides a little and leave our sweet potato dish to the side. Now I'm gonna show you how to make crust. One more thing. For you guys who love nutmeg, just a little nutmeg inside afterwards would be just fine. Couple shakes, just a couple shakes. That makes all the difference. That smell smells fabulous. So now, we're gonna move along to our crust. Now, the rule of thumb is for every half cup of shortening, we add a cup of flour. So, shake it out. I always like to look and make sure it's eye level, that I can see exactly that it hits the 1 cup line. Weren't quite there yet. Okay, perfect. So we take a half cup of shortening, add it to our flour, kind of mix it in like that. Add a half teaspoon of salt. Sugar's optional if you want to add sugar. I tend to be a little healthier and leave that out, but not like salt's any better, but it gives it a little taste, flavor. So what we're doing right now is we're kneading in the shortening, kind of making the flour into, looks like coarse breadcrumbs almost. That's what the goal is. And then we need to add cold water. And you just add water according to the consistency you would like your crust. The cold water actually is what helps make it dough. So at this point, we have dough. Now, if you see any shortening or anything like that, just kind of knead it out. I'm gonna add a little flour to my wax paper. At this point, you should have a little wax paper down because we're gonna roll out the dough a little bit. Just kind of dump it on there. Just add dough because it's sticky, a little sticky. Your hands get a little messy, but it's fun. Kind of reminds you when you were a kid with Play-Doh, you know? You just keep adding flour as it's still sticky. Keep kneading it out. See, right now it's a little sticky, so I'm gonna add a little bit more flour. Now take your rolling pin and you roll it out. Now I like to put a little flour on my rolling pin. You just kind of roll it out like so. And you keep rolling, rolling, rolling until it becomes a circle. Take our pie pan, and our dough actually ends up looking like this. And we just set it in the pie pan with our fingers, just feel around and just feel where the pan meets the dough. Now you're gonna have a little extra left over. Now you can peel that off, cut it off, but we're gonna do the pinch method. You don't wanna peel too much off though, because you want something to work with when you're pinching. So as you can see, you take your forefinger and your thumb, you just kind of pinch. And once you get your crust perfectly pinched, you pour your batter in. Don't fill it too far up because it still has to rise a bit. And voila. We put this in the oven, and like I said before, your oven should be preheated to 400 degrees. So now let's check our sweet potato pie. It's been 20 to 30 minutes. Remember, the center is firm, hot. All right, look at this. Beautiful. Now, we need to move this over. It's a little hot, so be careful. There we go. Now, it's all about the presentation. When your guests come over, you want to make sure that your sweet potato pie looks better than everybody else's sweet potato pie. It's totally a competition. So, I like to do whipped cream. Like to just dabble. Looks like that one went a little flat. So you just kind of make dollops. Take a little nutmeg. Now you're probably like, what are you doing? But it'll look really good once it's done. You don't want it to be too perfect. You kind of want it to be a work of art. However you feel for the day, it's kind of how it ends up being. A little bit of that, little cinnamon, mix it up. Remember I said nutmeg is the key to sweet potato pie because of its flavor. Now, I know we're not supposed to do this, but I made two so we can try this one. So again, be careful because it's a little hot, but it tastes best that way when it's hot. Just kind of cut it like so. Oh, and this is our finished touch, by the way. Finished product. And we just scoop it out. Pinching those sides weren't that easy. Nutmeg on the plate. It's all about presentation. Perfect. Now let's even it out and put another one on the other side too. And voila, sweet potato pie is done. Now, every cook must taste what they've created before they share it with the rest of the world. So let's take a bite. This is so good. Yummy. I have to take another bite. Hold on. That's good.